right around the time that I started with the coaching certification course, which for others who are here, I'm in right now, a spiritual science came my way that I became equally interested in. And what my question revolves the notion of bringing my awareness into my body versus having my awareness as myself, as an infinite being, pure soul, pure awareness, not having a body. And the part of me that is neither born nor dies. And when I find when I put my awareness in my body, I forget about that other part, that seat of self that is very soothing and peaceful for me. And so I'm so interested in the juxtaposition of those two seats, for lack of a better word, those two seats of awareness or consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember your question. I think it's a question that many people have, both at really a very secular level of the notion of kind of a mind-body split, and also maybe of a body spirituality split. And the first thing I think that I would like to say is we really make this distinction between what we call the medical body or the Cartesian body, which is made up of all these different parts, and the parts communicate with each other, and there's a nervous system, then there's a muscular system, and so forth. But they're really different parts. And when we speak about the soma, which means the shape of your livingness, the shape of your aliveness, is really what we're doing is that we're saying that those qualities about you being pure awareness and having a feeling of joy and peace and tranquility, we say that lives inside of us. And that the shape of our livingness is the doorway to touch into that. So people can have the notion of, gee, that idea makes sense to me. It's a concept. That concept makes a lot of sense to me. And that's what I'm aiming for. But it's still really in the conceptual realm. Now, when I read your question, I thought one of the profundities of it is you said you knew that this was really who you were. And I listened to that and had this experience, not just the concept of it or the good notion of it, but you actually had the experience of it. In other words, you lived it, you embodied it. It was alive for you in that moment. And when we're in that moment, we're really free of concepts and ideas. We're in a direct, immediate experience with what we would call source. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much that when we're coming into our body is we're clinging to it, or we're trying to make more of it, is we're listening to it in a way in which the more we can relax in here, the more source or spirit can come through. And then we begin to realize that's who we are at a ground level. That's who we are. So I both understand the place in which you go, or whatever the other teaching is, I don't know, but I want to move away from my body. But we want to think of body as the shape of our livingness. So even when you had that experience, that was your living, you were living that at that moment. And what we would say that happens, the doorway is through the soma, or the body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you say that, when I think back on part of my question, the feeling of peace, the feeling of being enough and all of that. I mean, that is a felt experience.
Exactly. It's a living, immediate, direct felt experience.
Yeah. And just one last thing, as you were talking, another realization came to me that this is not my first rodeo in pursuing spiritual paths. And it's interesting that this one has really captured me more than any other, but it's been in tandem with my somatic work. So, yeah, just realizing that for myself right now is very profound.
Follow your heart.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
You're welcome.